Ultimate Guide to Hosting a Secure Web Service on AWS EC2. This podcast is brought to you by Business Compass LLC. We are an Amazon Web Services advanced consulting partner. We build and migrate workloads to Amazon Cloud. Our website is businesscompassllc.com. Our phone number is 973-638-2228. Our email address is contact@businesscompassllc.us. Introduction. Why AWS EC2 for web service hosting? Amazon Web Services, AWS, EC2 is a powerful and flexible solution for hosting web services. Its scalability, reliability, and cost-effectiveness make it an ideal choice for developers and businesses of all sizes. Whether launching a simple website or a complex application, AWS EC2 provides the infrastructure to ensure your web service runs smoothly and securely. Prerequisites: setting up your EC2 instance. You'll need to set up your instance before you can host your web service on AWS EC2. Here are the key steps. Sign up for AWS. If you don't already have an AWS account, sign up at aws.amazon.com. Launch an EC2 instance. Navigate to the EC2 dashboard and launch a new instance. Choose the appropriate instance type based on your requirements. A T2.micro instance is sufficient for initial setup and testing for most web services. Configure instance details. Customize your instance settings, such as the network, storage, and tags. Create a key pair. Generate a key pair for SSH access. Download and securely store the private key file. Securing your EC2 instance, configuring security groups for public access. Security is paramount when hosting a web service. AWS security groups act as virtual firewalls to control inbound and outbound traffic. Follow these steps to configure your security group. Create a security group. In the EC2 dashboard, create a new security group. Add inbound rules. Allow HTTP, port 80, and HTTPS, port 443, for web traffic. Additionally, enable SSH, port 22, access from your IP address for administrative purposes. Apply the security group. Attach the security group to your EC2 instance. Installing essential software, preparing your environment for web service deployment. After securing your EC2 instance, install the necessary software to run your web service. SSH into your instance. Use your private key to access your instance via SSH. Update package lists. Run sudo apt-get update to update the package lists. Install web server. Install Apache or Nginx using sudo apt-get install Apache 2 or sudo apt-get install Nginx. Install other dependencies. Depending on your application, you may need to install additional software like PHP, Python, or Node.js. Acquiring a domain and SSL certificate, ensuring secure communication. A domain and SSL certificate are essential for establishing trust and ensuring secure communication. Register a domain. Use a domain registrar to purchase your desired domain. Obtain an SSL certificate. Use AWS Certificate Manager, ACM, to request a free SSL certificate. Configure your domain. Update your DNS settings to point to your EC2 instance's public IP address. Developing your web service, implementing your application logic. With your environment ready, you can now develop your web service. Upload your code. Use SCP or a deployment tool to upload your application code to the EC2 instance. Configure the web server. Update the web server configuration to serve your application. For Apache, modify the default.conference file. For Nginx, update the default file in /etc/nginx/sites available. Test your application. Ensure your application runs correctly by accessing it through your domain. Running your web service, making your service publicly accessible. To make your web service accessible to the public, open HTTP and HTTPS ports. Ensure your security group allows traffic on ports 80 and 443. Restart your web server. Restart Apache or Nginx to apply the configuration changes. Access your web service. Open a web browser and navigate to your domain to see your live web service. Essential considerations for production environments, security best practices and alternatives. When moving to a production environment, consider the following security best practices. Regularly update software. Keep your system and software up to date with the latest security patches. Use IAM roles. Implement AWS IAM roles to manage permissions and access. Enable monitoring and logging. Use AWS CloudWatch to monitor your instance and log activities. Consider alternatives. For enhanced security and performance, consider using AWS Elastic Beanstalk or AWS Fargate for containerized applications. Conclusion, wrapping up, and next steps. Hosting a secure web service on AWS EC2 involves several key steps, from setting up your instance and securing it to installing essential software and developing your application. Following best practices and leveraging AWS tools ensures your web service runs reliably and securely. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please share this podcast, visit our website, and follow our social media links.